here we have two YouTube live Hangout on Air windows. Now what I'm going to demonstrate here is how we can use the new slide bar, the live rewind bar on Google simultaneously. So for an example, I'm going to pick a Hangout on Air that I've not seen before, and it's this one where it says hope.js. No idea what it's about, but it says it's live now. So if I click on it, the first thing is we get a, and let's make sure we've got it. Would I like to convert it into Spanish? Not really at the moment. But what you'll notice, here we go, let's just make it bigger, and I'm just going to kill the sound because it's killing me. Right, you'll notice the difference is that we've got a Hangout on Air running as we speak, and this is live right now at YouTube. Now, you'll notice that as I hover the mouse button, I get the circular bar to say it's 25 minutes in. Okay, so at the moment it is 25 minutes in. I'm going to leave it. Now, I want to wonder what I've missed, and you're going to know that that's, pretty much 25 minutes. So I'm going to use the second one. This is the second window. And normally you would get audio from both here. I've just killed the audio on that because I'm trying to speak to you and I'll get extremely confused. And there it is as well. So I'm just going to, right, so let's just try and get that to a level where we can see what is going on. So for an example, I've got my live version, which is just there, and then I've got the second version, which is also live. Now we can start having some fun. Now, in other words, they are identical. If you look at the timers, we've got 26:47, 20, pretty much the same. So what I can start doing on the bottom one is just leave it alone and say that that's where it is. So if I get this bar, which is 26 minutes in now, and I drag it back to the beginning, you can see it's showing me what I've already missed. So if I wanted to start it directly from the beginning, there we are. So now I've got, and I can toggle the sound in real life if that's what you wanted to do. So I could turn that up and perhaps listen to the introductions. I can still see that we're 27 minutes in on the second one. So I'm thinking, looks like they're doing introductions. This is nothing against this Hangout, by the way. I'm just saying I'm choosing it as an example. And so I can look through, and you can see that I'm now hovering my mouse and looking at, I think, what's that image there? Is that a pyramid, or is that one of the Aztec? And then he's gone into some JavaScript. So in other words, I'm now at 3:51. Okay, I'm still keeping my eye down here to see if they're still running with it. Yes, they are. Because let's be honest, we all try and cram things on, and we try and fast forward our life and rewind our life and multitask all the time. So now I can look through, I can say, what else have I missed? So he's doing a bit of program. What's that guy doing? And you can see that I've just found another thumbnail here of the word promise and somebody wandering along the street. So, this is about computer programming, isn't it? Something like that. So in other words, I'll just get this right. If I click and hold, I can go through a lot of JavaScript program, and there and can you notice the difference here is that when we go down to some programming, black screens, and then we're up to some different segments of the Hangout on Air. There are 3 people in that one at the moment. And you also notice my tip there would be to say that if they did use, so to withdraw the other users, about going full screen, that might be useful, but so what? So at the moment I'm 11 minutes and I'm 28 minutes in real life. So in real life, we are talking about some programming. In the previous life, we are talking about some programming. Yeah, excellent. So in other words, there we go through to, and I'm now catching up, and I could be listening in. I might be doing both audios together. Now for simplicity, I've just kept this to 2 screens. Now in theory, you could actually have 3 screens open, but if you did do 3 screens open, it could be extremely interesting. But you know that all of us multitask and we listen to multi-things. The second or third screen device is amazingly on a meteoric rise at the moment. In other words, we watch TV, we have an iPad open, we have a tablet open, we might have a mobile phone open, we might be doing something else. And let's be honest, we could even do something crazy like actually listening to a human being who's also in the room who's talking to us. So in other words, if I'm moving and moving and moving, I'm 16, and you can see, which I think is just brilliant, that you can see the thumbnails as I'm dragging. What's that one there? That one's about a keyboard. What's the title of that part? Source. And it's got a GitHub web link. So I'm at 19 minutes. Real life is 29 minutes. So it's 10 minutes behind. Then in theory, and I'm not recommending you do this, but we all do this, we try and cram in. So that says thanks. So that would imply at 20 minutes that thanks meaning that could be at the end. I don't know because I'm guessing. And so, what's that? So in other words, you are looking for the visual clues here because there are no audio clues. So the chap's there is messing around with the setup on his screens by the looks of it, or something to do with his Mac. That's fine. At the moment it's 30 minutes still going. I've got no idea of the endpoint to this, but if I did have an idea of the endpoint, then I can at least know how much time I've got to cram it in. So I'm moving along, perhaps he's doing a bit of screen sharing there. It looks like he's just doing a bit of housekeeping by the looks of it. So at the moment, if I let this slider go at 25, now I'm only 5 minutes behind. I am not saying that I've got all the information because it's pretty obvious that I haven't in such a detailed Hangout on Air presentation. And then what I will do is, let's say I went right back to the beginning, or not to the beginning at 12 minutes, then I've got the one feature I didn't show you, and that is the live button. So if I click skip ahead to live broadcast, in one click I've got an identical window to the one below. So you'll see that, okay, identical, it's about 2 seconds difference. So in theory I could close that window, and now I'm quite happy that I want to watch live, which I was doing kind of like all along. And just for a shout out, that's from desarolweb.com. You can see it anyway there. So I'm going to end that presentation and then play it back. I've recorded this using zoom.us, which is excellent for a screen share and audio grab in such a small file. Then I'll upload it to YouTube and share. You've been listening to Mike Downs at google.com/+Mike Downs.